Aloha. Good morning. I am Reverend Patrick, and this is... Oh, please, don't stop. A chair is just a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. Let me tell you, our Reverend Rita, at this very moment, is in North Hollywood. She's speaking on the same day en route to see her grandkids. So that is why she's not here. So today you have me. And not only me, but you have Carrie and Michael over here as well. And there's Marco. Let's give it up for Marco. And we have Rob on live stream. And let's just say aloha to everybody that's watching us on live stream. Aloha! Ah, feels good. So let's start out with our announcements as we always do. And who to do that than our wonderful Michelle LeMay.
Good morning, everyone. It's a nice mellow vibe in the room. I do have a lot to share. Most of it is on the pamphlet. I was noticing actually now we have so many events they don't all actually fit on here. So that's one of the reasons why I share them verbally with you. But also there's an email list if you want to get onto that so that you have your reminders throughout the week and you can have the dates handy for when you are actually with your schedule and looking at your schedule. And then of course there's wonderful Facebook that Rita and Patrick are always updating and putting all these events on here. So I do understand that I do talk kind of fast for some of you, and I know I'm giving a lot of information, but it's all available in different forms. So one of the things I'd like to mention is our wonderful bookstore. We do have the Science of Mind magazines in for February and March. And what's great about these, they have awesome articles, but there's also daily readers. So I like to read my day to bring into my meditation. Such a great way to get connected with myself immediately, and it definitely makes a difference in my day. Also in the bookstores, some things to keep in mind in regards to possible gifts for Valentine's Day. We have a couple of books from members in our congregation. Marian Head has a book that's all about relationships. It's a journal about the heart. Deborah Valentina has her Heart Ignited book. Petra has her book over there as well. So we definitely have our Science of Mind books, but books represented from folks in the congregation. If there's others there that I have missed from our community, I apologize, but they're on the table. And then also in the bookstore is where there are sign-up sheets for the different classes that I'll be sharing about. There's an ongoing class that has been it's only a couple weeks in, and it's called How to Change Your Life Beyond Limits. And it's with this book, and it's a mandatory book, but even if you're not taking the class, it's a really great book to get to learn more about what Science of Mind teaches, what we are learning, and how we can actually put this to work in our own lives. Because this is all great that we get here on Sunday and we learn so much, but this really delves deep, and that's what the class does as well. And there's 8 more weeks to the class, and it's open to everyone. Everyone and anyone can come to this, and it's Wednesdays from 6 to 8. And this week we're going to be talking about spiritual mind treatments, which is our form of affirmative prayer. And that is one of the most powerful ways that we can actually start using this philosophy in our life to direct our thinking, direct our energy, and to attract what we want into our lives. And then we are blessed to have some new folks that just moved to Island. You'll be meeting her soon as she will be participating in the service. But Reverend Diane Decker and her partner Sue have just moved to Island. Yay! And Reverend Diane is jumping right in, and she's going to be doing on the first and third Monday of every month, Spirit Talk. So the first one will be on Monday the 15th, and it's at 6 o'clock right here. And it's just a general discussion where you can come. We'll talk about points from the Science of Mind book, the actual textbook that we have, questions that people may have, different topics every week. She's going to be mentioning it when she comes up too. And of course she's here if you have direct questions in regards to what that is. But the first one is going to be Monday the 15th at 6 o'clock. So please come and join and meet Diane, Reverend Diane. And then in regards to meeting reverends, Reverend Patrick and Rita are opening their schedule up called Getting to Know You, and they're starting that this month. This week, since Reverend Rita is not here, we're actually going to not have it this week, but the next Tuesday, that'll be every Tuesday in the afternoon. So the 16th will be the next time that you can meet Reverend Patrick and Rita. And of course, we see them up here and they know you by face. And some of you have been coming for a long, long time. And it's your opportunity to have one-on-one time with them, have questions, if you have suggestions or concerns, anything like that. There is a sign-up sheet for that. So it is by appointment, and that will be starting for the 16th, and then that'll be every Tuesday after that. Another workshop that Reverend Rita is going to be doing, it's an 8-week course called Mental Muscle, and it is also from another book from Reverend James Mellon. That's actually where Rita is speaking today at Reverend James's congregation, and it's called Mental Muscle. It is a spiritual boot camp. So this one, you have to register. There's only 12 participants, space for 12 participants. So it's not Kaua'i style. You can't just show up to this one. You do have to register. You do have to have this book because we work out of this book, and you do have to make an 8-week commitment of meeting twice a week, which are Mondays and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9:30 right at Lidgate. And we go through this book, and it's powerful. It really is a boot camp, and it is something that, and when you're making the commitment, you're really making the commitment more to yourself than to Reverend Rita. And it's really imperative. I know for me, commitments have been hard to make. And so to make an 8-week commitment twice a week in the morning was the big one. And it changed my life. And I was grateful that I did it. And I know that the other people who were there with us, we really got close, we really delved in, and we really learned a lot about ourselves. So I invite you to consider all of these workshops and classes. And then there's going to be another one starting at the end of the month, and that's going to be with Michael and Carrie. They're going to be doing sound healing on the last Monday of this month, so I believe that is the 29th. It's spirit sound infusion, and it'll be with Tibetan bowls and flutes and pianos and their beautiful voices. So we're really excited about that. They bring so much light and love and joy to our center, and this is going to be something just additional for us to really immerse ourselves in their medicine and in their magic and in their music. We also have an interfaith series, which these are separate from Science of Mind, yet there's a lot of correlations and a lot of similarities. We'll be doing 2 different ones a month. So the next one that we're going to be doing is at the end of the month. Mr. Bodhi B is going to be coming from Maui. He is in the Sufi tradition and the Sufi faith, and he's going to be coming to speak about death. It's called Journey to Death, and it's really about a conversation that can be really challenging, really enlightening, and something that we all actually could use a little bit more openness about. And what he will be doing, it's 2 different times. There'll be a Friday night, which is Friday night the 26th, from 6:30 to 9, and that is $20. It's kind of an intro, but also he does delve into some of the topics a little bit more in depth. But then there's an all-day workshop on Saturday that is going to be February 27th, and that's $75 for the whole day. And what some of the topics that will include is about practices for conscious living and dying, getting ourselves ready and making sure we have our health directives, our 5 wishes, all those things that sometimes, again, we don't always necessarily want to look at, talk about, but is done in a safe container where we can be open and share and done in a loving way. And of course, we'll talk about death as our teacher, contemplating life, what dying asks for us, if we are in a position or will be in a position to be a caretaker for someone who is passing away. So it's really really in-depth. It will be happening here, and there is registration on the table, also on our website, which is www.cslkauai.org, and same with all the other workshops, but that's something that will be taking place right here with Bodhi B.
Wow.
I'm expecting all of this pretty soon.
What a download.
Kind attention. I appreciate it.
I need a nap. I am exhausted with just the thought of everything that we're doing here. And I know that sometimes, the announcements, you go, well, I could really do without them. And I understand that sometimes, but thank you, Michelle, for making them so filled with power and infused with this spirit. Because I know we have it in front of us, but sometimes we'd like to know a little bit more about it, about really what's going on here. So I say mahalo, mahalo. And also, what we like to do too, that Rita and I, and first of all, Rita will just not even I'll get a phone call or a text if we don't all say hello to her. So let's all say aloha Rita. Aloha Rita. Okay, enough of you, back to me. Okay, so I just did what I know. I did that live streaming, by the way. Anyway, I was really just kind of trying to stall for time because we like to put up our students, our prac students, and we like them to get up here as much as possible. And so since she was just up here, Michelle LeMay, doing a lot of energy, now we're going to see another side as she takes us into our meditation and our invocation. So welcome again, Michelle. Yes, I would like to do that. And since you're up here, why are we lighting this peace candle?
We are lighting this peace candle because peace out there has to first start in here.
Absolutely.
So when we light the candle, it's a symbolism of the fact that we're going to take that also into our meditation and then bring it out into the world. That peace begins with us.
And thank you. Rita would be very happy that you reminded
She will be.
me
She's watching.
Delighted. I'm used to passing it back and forth with Rita, and so thank you. And blessings.
As we shift gears and go into our contemplation time, I invite you to keep your eyes open, keep your eyes closed, whatever is comfortable. But let's take a few breaths together. Collective breath, breathing in this energy, this laughter, this amazement. One more deep breath as we settle in to ourselves. The thought that I'd like to impart as you go into your time is a quote from a musician. His name is Nako, and he's with a Medicine for People band. And this is from one of his songs called Ocean as Well. If I want to know God, I must know myself. If I want to see God, I must see myself. If I want to love God, I must love myself. If I want to know God, I must know myself. If I want to see God, I must see myself. If I want to love God, I must love myself. If I want to know God, I must know myself. If I want to see God, I must see myself. And if I want to love God, I must love myself. As we take another deep breath, coming back into the room and into our bodies, the music that we hear, the energy that we feel, the people that we see around us, that is all this one love, this one universal energy, what we call God, Spirit. It has no word for what it truly is. But we recognize that it is all around us, in us, through us, as us. As I recognize that I am this energy, I am this love, I know that each and every one of you is also this energy, this God, this light, this love. And that's why I know that this is a divine appointment that we have all come here together to remember who we are. We already know, we are just remembering. And through the words that are spoken, the music that we hear, the laughter that is shared, and the message that comes through to us, I just know that it is all perfect. And everything that needs to be remembered is remembered. Everything that needs to be known is known and shows up in exactly the right way for each and every one of us. And I know that what needs to be heard will be heard so that we can be connected with ourselves. So we can know ourselves, see ourselves, and love ourselves. For that is how we know God. And with so much love and gratitude in our hearts, I know I drop my word into this law of our being, the law of the universe, the law of God that only says yes and is only in love. As we get out of the way so we can invite our good, I invite us all together to say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Doesn't that feel good? you mellow people today? You little mellow people. I about had it with that. Just kidding. No, thank you. Just so aligned and so centered. So you are, if you're here for the first time, you are in a science of mind and spirit. And you, yeah. And that's where you've landed for this moment. And what this is about is, it's a very simple philosophy, unless we make it difficult. None of us in this room have ever done that, but just in case we have. It is done unto you as you believe. Ernest Holmes, who's the founder, did not invent that phrase. That was the Master Jesus who had that to say. And it really is. It's the good news and the not so good news at times. And it is created from our belief. And whatever you believe is what will manifest in your life. You're not responsible for the whole world, so you can relax. But what you are responsible for is what your mind is. And it is connected to that one mind. And that is simply what we do here on Sundays, is to celebrate our connection to that. So knowing that, who is here for the first time, may I ask? All righty. Well, we know something about you, and we would like to share that with you. I have it right. No, not right here. I just want to see if I can get at those looks on the face and go, whoever's with them always looks at each other. Thank you very much. Very interesting. We are live streaming, are we not? So this is what we know about you. Shall we let them? You are magnificent. I know, relief, right? And we know that about you. Thank you very much, Michael. We know that about you because we know that about ourselves. Shall we do that? Yeah. I am magnificent. Let's hear that again. I am magnificent. Now look to whoever's to you on the left, right. Let them know they're magnificent and add, you are loved. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. You are magnificent. You just had two people walk in, you're magnificent. You're magnificent, just in case you want to know. Doesn't that feel good? So let's feel good some more, and let's have our opening song. This is a new month, which we switch up the music, and this month's all about, I know you're going to be surprised, but it's all about love. But it's always about love, but this month we're going to really emphasize love. Can you say love? Love. All right, and I love you too, so take us into our opening song. Stand up if that makes you feel good.
Feel good?
Yeah.
I was sitting on a mountain in Honolulu and wrote this new song for us in 4 minutes. So let's see if we can really
So it's a little bit bluesy, jazzy. So everyone just go ahead and follow along. And
Find your blues, find your blues.
Here we go.
Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Your heart, make a brand new start, see the world with clear eyes. No turning back, surprise, surprise, remove all the skies. It's my life, it's my life, it's my life. Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain, let it sing on the mountain, let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine.
We're on that mountain right here, right now. Does everybody feel it? Can I hear yes? Yes! Oh, it feels good to climb. It feels good to climb today, to know who and what we are from that place of consciousness. We take it into this service. We celebrate it. I celebrate. Can I hear a celebration? Oh, that is it. And what I know is that we just take it and we just enjoy this time together. We celebrate it. We release it to that law of our being that always says, yes. What does it say? Yes. We release it. We let it go up to the mountain as together we say, and so it is.
When your heart make a brand new start, go with clear eyes. Girls turning back, surprise, surprise, move in the sky. It's my life, it's my life, it's my life.
Yeah.
Not bad, you guys. Not bad for our first time.
So I want you to take home your programs, memorize the words, and then next week some more snapping and clapping. All right.
Will there be a test, Patrick?
Yes, there will be. On Valentine's Day, we're going to let the love go. Oh, yes. So speaking of which, Michelle had mentioned earlier that Sue and Reverend Diane have moved to the island this week. And we know, yes, we know what that feels like, do we not? That when we move here. Yes, it's a, So Reverend Diane has spoke here before and did In the Light. And In the Light for us is just a chance for you to just really let us know how the science of mind or this philosophy or just spirituality works for you. So it is, and she has come here and Sue to serve. Service is a really big thing in life. The more we give, the more we receive. It's funny, we think we're in service, but we're really in service to ourselves, and that really is what fills us up. And these two are just an example of that kind of service. So please let me welcome Reverend Diane Decker.
Good morning.
Is it?
Good morning, Kauai. Is that better? Oh, God, you bless me indeed. That has been my affirmation, and this last week we landed here on Tuesday. We landed here on Tuesday. I get to live here now. And I've been reviewing what it took for Spirit to get me here. What happened? What was the timeline that brought me to Kauai? That moved me out of the place where I was stuck into the place where I am free to serve Spirit as Spirit would move through me. And so I looked at all those things that had to happen. For Diane to say, we're moving to Kauai. And for Sue to say yes, too. You folks met my sweetheart Sue in January? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. First, I had to realize that I was stuck. Sometimes we don't know that. Sometimes we are just going along doing the same things every day, and not knowing that it's not working anymore. Those around us might know that our lives are not working, right? But we are totally unaware that something's not working. So first, I had to realize that I had to let go. And then I had to actually let go. And that takes some time sometimes. To realize that you do have a choice. It is your life. And like Patrick said earlier, that's the good news and the bad news. We're responsible for our experience of life. And so then we had to make a decision that, okay, I'm letting go of this. What do I want? We get to tell the universe what it is we want. Because the universe always says yes. It is Spirit that planted that desire in my heart to be here. And it is Spirit that made everything happen to bring me to this place. And so then I had to take action on the decision. Oh, you mean there's footwork, like Spirit isn't just going to push it through the door to me. That's the good news and the bad news. So there was a bunch of footwork over the course of well, a little better than a year. I was here in December 2014 was the last time I spoke here. And that was when we said, we can live here. And then that set everything into motion that brought us to this place. Jobs changed, house sold, pets ready to be imported into Kauai. That was the biggest hurdle. When they were released at the airport in Lahui, we knew we had made it. And all the time you have to keep affirming that this is what I want. More than anything, I know the experience, what I felt like, the energy I felt on Kauai, how absolutely well I felt on Kauai. And I would embody that energy in my meditation, and I would say, oh God, you bless me indeed. Which is different from, thanks God. It's a knowing deep within your spirit that what you are getting is exactly what you want. And thanking God for that every day. Oh God, can you say that with me? Oh God, you bless me indeed. That's like overflowing gratitude. So when we follow that through every day by saying, thank you, God, and we continue doing the footwork, affirming what it is we want in life, and going for it, why wait, really? Why wait? Oh God, you bless me indeed. Right here, right now, today, I am blessed. Let's take that divine energy of gratitude into prayer. And so in this moment, I know that the power, the presence, and the love of God is right where I am. I live and move and have my very being as an expression of the Divine One. Oh God, you bless me indeed. Every cell of my body is energized with the vital energy of God. Every activity of my day, of my life, is infused with right action. My thinking is clear. My activity is guided. And everything that has to happen in my life is happening by divine appointment. I am so grateful. Thank you, God, for moving in and through my life in such a wonderful way, for providing everything I need to make it happen, for giving me the energy, the strength, and the prosperity and abundance to make it all unfold, just as you intended it to unfold. And so I know, with this word, the law of mind is in action. There's not a thing that can get in the way of the divine plan for my life. There are no delays in God. God is right here, right now, everywhere present. In and through me, in and through each one of us. And so I say, thank you, God. You blessed me indeed. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you. And welcome. So speaking of blessings, I feel very blessed. Hey, so good to see you. Did you hear that when people stop everything and then they talk to people there? It's like, hi. We are so blessed. We can't say it enough. Rita and I talk about this. We're so blessed with the music here. And, you know, and it takes the spirit. All of you have been here since the beginning of this. We've had Jeevan, we have Jeremy and Amy who come in and now will be guest artists with them. But thank you for really coming in and just saying yes. Yes, let's take the music and let's just say yes to it. So we thank you. And with that, have some special music. That was your intro. We love you.
I'll preface this for a minute. This is the original song we wrote. We've never performed it ever. So tonight will be a good today. A good day to this song to me, it's about timeless love. And this is the month of love. So I'm singing this today, whatever that means to you.
So our song is called Roses Red, and enjoy.
sitting in the land of the roses red, waiting for a man she knows he bled, looking down the river of stories untold, waiting for the man she longs to hold. Night watchman came from far away, delivering a letter. Now he's gone astray. The battle in his heart lasted 2 days. When will he ever meet again? Lost in the wells of a time gone by, surrendering in anger to mighty side, screaming for justice in the human mind, fist to the ground, no longer blind.
On his way to come back home.
On his way to come back home.
On his way to come back
On his way to come back home. On his way to come back home.
Will we find her waiting there, longing to stroke her glistening hair? His eyes are ready to see again the rock,
The river
and his
one
true
friend.
Wow. As I was saying before, we are so blessed. We are so blessed to have, and I love it. I just wrote a little something to today, you know. If I were writing that song, we'd probably have it for Christmas. And so thank you. Thank you for your creativity. And thank you for that. Yes. Okay, so today I do not share my time with Rita at all. So I would just fasten your seatbelts, get comfortable. I'm kidding. It's only gonna be an hour or so. Okay, no. So today is Super Bowl Sunday. It is. Who knew that? Okay. So here's the thing about Super Bowl Sunday. I don't have much to say about it, except that it is today, and there's been a lot of predictions. But what I did so that I could actually talk to you is I had to go Google who was actually playing. The Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. Yes, indeed. Go Broncos.
Broncos.
Yes. But what I did get out of that spiritual idea of the Super Bowl was nothing. No, I'm kidding. I do get that energy. But what I really thought about today, it's kind of twofold, is this idea of predictions. That they're predicting who's going to win, and how do you do that? How do you actually predict someone's going to win? You have to come and add everything up and what's in the past, and how many times do we do that in our lives? Make these predictions, and in reality, you don't know. You have an idea, and a probability is in hand, but you don't really know who's going to win today, Michael. And some of us really don't care, but that's okay as well. But something else happened this week of very big importance, and I know some of you might have missed it, but on February 2nd, what happened? The groundhog, right? Another prediction, another forecast of the weather. And so I had to do a little research on Phil. And here's what's interesting. Are you guys all aware of what he sees a shadow? Well, the good news is he didn't see a shadow, so that means spring is coming sooner than later. Well, I thought, well, this is very interesting that this creature can predict the future. And then I really saw that it's just all made up. And it was kind of like finding, I know, I don't want to burst your bubble, but it's a groundhog. And then I thought, well, maybe it actually does, and it's been going on for 130 years of predicting. And there's a big party. 130 years, 10,000 people show up in this little town in Pennsylvania to see what he says. And here was the thing that kind of broke my heart a little bit. I thought there was like an actual thing comes up and there's a shadow and he's like, whoa. I thought that was what was happening, but no. He talks to the president of the Groundhog Club and relays it to him in groundinese or whatever they call it. And then the president makes the announcement. And 10,000 people are buying this, by the way, buying this prediction. And on Monday morning, I got up at 5 a.m. because another thing was happening, and that was for peace, for Syria. And a whole bunch of things were going on, so I got up at 5 with Rita, and we did this thing. And I thought to myself, 10,000 people got up from Phil at 3 a.m. to have chocolate. And I was just thinking to myself, I wonder how many people got up for the peace, And Sue, it's coming off a little judgmental, which it's not. It's just for fun. But it does make me wonder about this idea of predictions. How many times, he looks at his shadow and predicts this. So my question for you today is, where is your shadow? And what is it saying to you? And what is it predicting for your life? No answers are necessary, just contemplative.
Change,
yes. So what I know about this whole idea of the shadow, is I was thinking this week, I actually became very obsessed with this idea of shadow. And I thought, what is this thing that we are so obsessed with? People are obsessed with the shadow. We have dark shadows, we have Darth Vader, and it always seems to be this negative connotation, right? That there's a dark side that is separate from us. That it is separate. Peter Pan, do we all remember him? Oh, his shadow left him. And he had to go around trying to get it, right? Until Wendy sewed it back on. And what he said was, he wanted to unite the shadow. And I was speaking with Rita on the phone, as we do every 3 hours. And I was talking, she said, you seem very excited about this new outlook of the shadow. And it's because I don't think the shadow's bad. And this was a big turnaround for me. Because we think of the shadow of death. We think the shadow, oh my gosh, my shadow side, my ego side is coming up. And I really, really landed with the idea that maybe, just maybe, the shadow is our friend. How could it not be? If there's dualism, then it goes against everything, I believe. And here's the other thing about a shadow. A shadow cannot even be seen unless it's in the light. Can I hear amen on that one? I mean, I'm just like filling up with this whole idea that this thing that I have been, that's bad, or when we were little, that's Johnny's bad side. His shadow came out. He's really, that's not his usual behavior. What if, this is a big day for me of what if. What if the shadow was on our side? What if the shadow who was, when I came to Kauai and I was going, oh my God, can we do this? Do we have, what if that shadow side was saying, do it. Do it. What if the shadow was really the light? I remember a play that I did, it was called Death Takes a Holiday. And it was all about the shadow of death. And the shadow, death, takes a 3-day holiday away from it all because death, he said, you can tell by the sign up, it's not a real popular item. Journey with death. Ah! I know you laughed because that's what you were thinking. That's exactly. So death takes a holiday. Imagine for 3 days that darkness that spooks everybody takes this holiday and nothing dies. Nothing. Everything starts growing. And I was trying to find it this morning because I got the inspiration about death takes a holiday while I was in the shower. And I thought, I need to have, where's my book? As I did that play. And I remember it, not verbatim, but I remember some of the dialogue from when Death talks about why he had to take a holiday. And he said, do you understand how misunderstood I am? I see things that are young and fragrant. But if I come too close, if they feel the presence of my shadow, a horror comes upon their face, and I retreat. What is our shadow telling us? What if today all those spooky shadows were really our friend? What if? I like what this gentleman, Joe Panek, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, but he's kind of what turned me on to this whole idea of the shadow. And I thought about it being actually talked about through the centuries, and everyone's been trying to figure out this thing called the shadow. And even in the beginning of time, remember with the cavemen, they see it, and they see the shadow, and they're like, whoa. And they actually had a thing the other day, a little baby saw its shadow for the first time, and he's blood-curdling screaming because he can't get away from it. Because he's screaming, and he's crying, and he's going, get away from me. Because that's what I'm telling you, our shadow is a part of us. We have been fighting it and calling it darkness and turning it into a bully. And it doesn't have to be. Because it can only exist with light. So this is what Joe says. He says, when we venture into our imagination, we are accessing our creative womb. We are journeying into the dark, magical, mystical, and enchanting domain of the shadow. That doesn't sound so frightening, does it? Then you say to yourself, well, yeah, but people do a lot of bad things. That must be the shadow part of themselves. I think it might be the ignoring and the turning away from those things that we consider so bad instead of getting to know them and saying, what are you afraid of? Because I really believe that the shadow side of ourselves is like that boogeyman that was created by and fed by our beliefs and created the very monster that we are trying to run from. Yeah. Yeah, what if it is a mystical experience? What if this thing called darkness was really our friend and that we could embrace it? How does that feel? What is that feeling when we think about that? That we've been running from our shadow, and the whole time, the shadow is a part of us. I was walking again, and I didn't ask a question this time when I was on Kaua'i. And I saw this little cat called Ina. I know you guys are thinking, just get a cat and leave it alone, you know. But I know it's like, turn into this cat person. But the little cat was there, and I was feeding the cat that lives up there, and we call it Ina. And Rita was gone, so she said, you have to go meet Ina and feed it. So as I did, I was, just all right, Rita, I'll do it. And then I get up there and I, do my more Super Bowl kind of guy thing. And I went, I will give you how my baby Ina. Look at Papa. Do me. Yeah. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding. But anyway, I had this magical moment. And I just did that. I just, that was a thought that turned into action. I don't know. So I'm like this, and I'm taking a picture of this beautiful black cat, and my shadow is over it. No, you can't plan this stuff, as they say in Hollywood. But anyway, so I'm over there, and I see it when I look at my phone, and I see this cat in the middle of my shadow, looking up at me. And I got that message, that what's in the center of the shadow is love. Wow. What if today was the day that we stopped being afraid? What if today was the day we could trust? Any shadow that turns and comes toward that we can turn into the shadow and say, hey, I love you. You're not scary at all. And now I'm going to feed you. I'm going to feed you love. And I'm going to feed you power. And I'm going to feed you everything that God is as God. I had this incredible feeling, everyone, of peace. I wasn't afraid of death anymore. I felt like, oh my God, I've lifted my own shadow. And it's my friend. Wow. And I know we're metaphorically speaking about that. But what if today was the day? You could still come back next Sunday. And that's okay. We'll celebrate that today was the day. What if today was the day we stopped being afraid? What if today was the day that we owned up to who and what we are? What if today we said enough? Somebody said the other day, well, the whole idea about suffering and pain and scary stuff is so that we can learn. I think we've learned enough. I have learned enough. And I look around my world and I say, we have learned enough from pain and sorrow and everything else. This is a place of love. And I think we're on to something. I really think we're on to something. And I'm going to end with an Ernest Holmes quote that I think sums this up just beautifully. I feel good, don't you? I feel at peace. That big boogeyman is not there anymore. I can be alone in the dark, knowing that it's just one big, wonderful, loving shadow. The shadow has never appeared in the dark. Ever noticed? It only comes in the light, and it only needs a little light. That's why I tell people when they're going through something, they say, you don't understand, you're not going through it. Yes, I do understand. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm not going through it. And here, just a little peak of light. That shadow comes in. A beautiful shadow that says, here, I am you, you are me. What if today was the day we ended dualism? What if today was the day we actually became what we keep talking about, oneness? You can't become one if you're chasing your shadow. That's two. Ernest Holmes says this: the world is beginning to learn that it has learned all it should through suffering and pain. Surely there can be no intelligence in the universe that wishes man to be sick, suffer pain, be unhappy, and end up in oblivion. Surely, if God or universal intelligence is imbued with goodness, then it could not ordain that man should ultimately be other than a perfect expression of life. That's who we are. So today, in this moment, our shadow has now become one with the light. And we have experienced that together, collectively. I'm in, are you? Yeah. I'm in. Namaste. I love having my cheerleading section over here with me. Okay, so now it's like, so what do I do if I don't have a shadow? Well, what we do right now is we just give from ourselves. This is our time of affirmative giving, and we have a little something to our little affirmation, which is this. It's in your program. And before we say that, what I know about giving is that you can't outgive the universe, ever. And so that's not a ploy to give more, but what I do know about it is that it is endless and it is unlimited, and you could give it all away and it'll still be right here, just like nature. So let's say this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns to me abundantly. We have a new gratitude song too. It's all new today. It's all new. It's all love.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Now who's thankful for your friends?
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends.
Now life.
Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. My glory is my glory is my glory is life. My glory is my glory is my glory is life. Thank you for the shade, Spirit. Thank you for the shade. Thank you for the shadow. Thank you for the shadow. My wonderful, my wonderful shadow. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful shadow.
Mother, Father, God, thank you for these blessings. I give thanks for the abundance that moves in and through each one of us in the form of sharing our good that so generously and prosperously and abundantly supports this congregation in doing their good works in the world. Thank you, God, for meeting every need, pressed down and overflowing. I am so grateful. So it is.
so it is. Yeah. Wow.
Hi, Reverend Rita.
And we're thankful for Reverend Rita too. Oh my goodness. So this is a time of, yeah, they're going, okay, we forgot to thank Reverend Rita. Thank you for this day. So there's a couple of days ago, there's a treatment box, and if you wonder what that is, that's just a box. The box has no power. But what you put in it from yourself into spirit does. And so we call it the yes box. And what happens is that if there's something that's come up for you and you'd like a little extra something knowing, then Rita and I will be glad to do that. Now we have Reverend Diane. So this is wonderful that so if you do, there's some pieces of paper over there, you can put that in there. If something's come up and you really, really need something right now, immediate, then Reverend Diane will be here too to do a treatment with you. Spiritual mind treatment is the bridge, as we talked about on Wednesday. We said, what happens when something's like this, a belief system, and you want to get over here with it? Sometimes you just can't say, oh, now I feel wonderful. We need a bridge. And sometimes that bridge, and most of the time that bridge, is spiritual mind treatment. And that bridges us over to where we actually want to be, because we are behind it. So some thank yous today. We have our greeters, Katie. And Katie, can you stand up for just a second? If anyone is interested in greeting, just see Katie, because it's a wonderful opportunity to stand at the door to meet, and she always needs to schedule that. She wants to schedule that for the, so I just wanted to see. And Malia helped today. Hello, Malia. And then we have Roseanne, who's a little under the weather. Basically, she's just at the beach. But I love that. She's not feeling it. Yeah, she's not. Roseanne, thank you. If you're watching this, thank you for the programs. Thank you. She's on the board, just does so much. And Michelle, double duty today, double duty. Gave us the energy of that, gave us our meditation, and gave us our invitation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Marco not only is filming today, but on Mondays at 9:30, he's across the street, and he's doing Trihara, and it's just wonderful. If anyone's ever been to it, I know some of the people in here have, it is body, mind, and soul. So it's putting them all together. So thank you for doing that, Marco. And then Rob, who's connected to Roseanne, is live streaming. And Stephanie is not here today, so someone will jump up and help at the bookstore, because I can't really thank her today. She has an investment, she's not here. But the books are in, though, How to Change Your Life, which really should be titled How to Enhance Your Life, because really there's nothing ever to fix. So they're in the bookstore. And let me see, in the light, our wonderful additional to the family here, Reverend Diane Becker. And our original composers over here. Okay, and I know you're pointing at what?
What about you?
Oh, stop.
How'd you realize?
Stop it, I didn't mean anything. You know that spirituality, I don't even need, keep it talking. It was like, Rita's not here, so I'm going to have that. So, and I would like to thank Rita, too. Rita is on her little pilgrimage, and she's talking today at Reverend James, who some of you know from the ordination, that he was the facilitator for that. And he's just doing it. He's doing a one-person show this weekend, and I really want to I was going to say condemn him. Oh, no, not condemn him. I really want to just really congratulate him, because I know what a one-person show is. And the good news is we're working right now to bring it here live on big screen on March 5th. So he's going to put it out there, and it is such a trip that he's taken that really can benefit a lot of us. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that unravels. So I think that is it.
And thank you, Michelle, for your beautiful announcements.
Check. I love you, Michael. That's all you do. If you ever get in a jam and you're thinking something, all you have to do is look at somebody and go, I love you. I love you. Isn't that better than anything else? Thank you. And you can never thank Michelle enough either. So here we go. Let's close this out, and I love you all. Let's take this out into the streets, and let's not hold it in.
Shall we stand up if you feel
Yes,
it?
I think that's great.
Maybe. Another new song for the month.
Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love. Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love. Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love. Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new world now. Peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love.
Right now, listen, today we come together. We come together on purpose, yes, to create a new world from within. Today there has been a uniting of spirit, a uniting of that shadow part that now is in the light as one thing, and that is love. So I know that each and every one of us take that love, and we take it out into the streets, we take it in and from our lives, and we share it, and we give it, and yes, we climb that mountain, and we get to the top of that one, we climb it again, because I know that that spirit, that thing called love, exists right here, right now. So let's have at it as we say together with gratitude, and so it is. So it is right now. Now I have some, oh good.
We forgot one important thing, Patrick.
What's
Go
that?
Broncos.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. You forgot another thing, there's some pound cake over there with some coffee and we'll socialize it. Have that, have a great day. Go Spirit!
Decided champion. I'm going to give you a formal hug, my friend. Oh,